This is my friend Cody Wanner, and he is where my next story begins. Well, it technically begins at the trailhead of a glacier. But first, let's meet Cody. Cody makes videos too. He's an entrepreneur, a doer, a leader, and quickly becoming one of my very good friends. He's different than any other person I've ever met.
Nice. Oh, that's sweet.
He is both peaceful and powerful, and he has an energy that is so incredibly fun to be around. He started his own online community called No Small Creator because creation is anything but small. And it's ultimately how I found him. Now, let's get back to the trailhead. We hadn't spent more than an hour or so together in person, ever. But on this day, we spent the whole day together.
So glad you gave me a beanie.
It was a day that started at 3 a.m. And while the day in itself told quite an epic story,
We're out here.
it got me thinking of something bigger. With Cody's help, I want to tell that story to you now.
It's about, what time is it, like 6:30-ish? Sunrise is in 45 minutes. Racing against the clock.
So hang tight, Cody. We'll get back to you in a second. Who am I? My name is Adrian Ritchie, and I tell stories. And this is me pointing to Cody next to a glacier. So let's start this story. It's one I'm very excited to tell. I can't wait for Christmas. I can't wait until 2020. I can't wait for that promotion, that trip, to own a business. These are goals we set in our mind, those things we look forward to. The desire to accomplish them often then leads to an increase in work, in hustle. We think to ourselves, there must be a certain level of consistent and dedicated work required to reach that thing. And once I work or output or hustle for X amount of hours, I will accomplish that thing. Increased hustle equals goals reached, right? Yes, but also no, and of course sometimes the answer is maybe. Let's get into it.
You guys doing a vlog today?
Yes. I am, yeah.
In our must-have, must-go, must-show environment, hustle is a badge of honor. And when you're in it, when you get up at 3 a.m. to hike with Cody Wanner, you can feel that honor. Feel that energy. These are moments we chase, a high we love. Even when experiencing things that are slightly smaller than a glacier, we are pulled towards that dopamine increase wherever we can find it in our daily surroundings. Whatever can give it to us, we want more of. So we work heads down towards those goals because it is something on fire within us.
There's some sort of switch that gets flipped when you get that much accomplished before the rest of the world. Anytime I get up before the sun rises, I feel like an elite human being, and I love that feeling.
So the things we can't wait for, these goals, they require attention. So we monitor phones, pull out our computers wherever we can to use every spare minute. This attention is valid, but this is also where things get tricky, confusing. We check likes and progress and status, but very quickly it's easy for that productivity to turn reckless. Hourly check-ins, constant refreshes, they just aren't necessary. And this is what I mean by confusing. You are subconsciously categorizing those constant refreshes as productivity. You're now distracted.
Do you even know who you are anymore? Do you even recognize yourself?
You know, people change.
But it's actually your hustle becoming reckless. And you are also unknowingly pushing your goals further away from you. As Cody and I continue to climb this glacier, I'm thinking about the different types of hustle, the different types of work. I feel so present and at peace. This mountain was ours. We were the ones who decided to get up that morning. We prioritized this hustle. Today, with these apps and devices at our fingertips, at any moment, you can become reckless. I can't go to bed now. I can't do that thing. I need to stay in this seat until it's done. I knew that after a year of daily vlogging, Cody's firsthand experience of hustle, extreme hustle, would add the right value. So I asked him how he kept his ambition close by.
The best way that I kind of counter my own ambition, my own desire to like do well in my career is to prioritize and think about and focus on the goals I have as a dad, as a husband, as a friend with people.
While we may have had the conversation with ourselves to know what being productive really means, and even with Instagram and Twitter aside, we can forget to take care of ourselves, to take care of our hustle. And attached to that neglect is worry. What if things change?
Would you say that you like a plan? And do you like when the plan changes?
You're hustling more than you ever have, but still you worry it's not enough.
It's okay. Yeah. Do you want to sign in?
You keep putting in that same amount of effort, but the results start to diminish. The returns start to diminish. And it's like you start putting in more effort because you want those results back, and you're not seeing those returns. That's where I think burnout comes from, is when my expectations aren't being met by the amount of work that I feel like I'm putting in.
There's an unwritten language. I know this especially coming from the Midwest, that it is brave to just get through it, to do what you're told. But what if you're currently at your tipping point? To me, that's reckless.
Internal rewards versus external. Yeah, whenever I start to feel myself going that direction, I try to reprioritize and think about, why am I doing what I'm doing?
So how can we practice knowing the difference?
I want to know about myself that I am someone who fights hard for what they believe in. And if that's really what matters, then the returns, the results, don't.
How can we remind ourselves to install habits that limit our actions to avoid spending too much time in the reckless category, where ultimately we break? How do we protect our hustle? Really, it's just about knowing the difference and then reacting accordingly. Is this productive or is this reckless? There must be downtime, a transition period, moments where your creative brain spend with her feet up. Let her rest and check in with the rest of yourself. She can wait.
Step away and just stop. Like, take a break from looking at your comments.
Step away. Rest. Put your phone down. Take a hike. Maybe even cut down a Christmas tree. Take this hike, for example. It was absolutely hustle, but I had first done my due diligence for it to stay in the productive category. I had to weigh the risks and rewards of taking a random Thursday off last minute. Would I let someone at work down? What would my regrets be if I didn't say yes to Cody? There was something pulling me towards it. It was a confident, calculated yes. I was in a good position at work. I actually could use a day to step away. I wasn't running from a meeting or a timeline or losing hours that were previously assigned to a hard requirement. The point here is not to stop hustling. That ambition, that desire to look ahead and want more is such a darn beautiful thing. We just can't let it get away from us. The one thing that separates us, after all, from the rest cannot also be what squashes our fire due to overuse or mishandling.
One of the best ways to get like creatively motivated for me is to spend time with other people who make stuff. Like, spending time with people who get creation, get the act of taking something from in here and putting it out into the world is like so remotivating and recharging.
Remotivating and recharging, that's exactly what this day was for me.
Matter of how do we get around the people who are doing what we're doing.
It's time to start taking care of our hustle, protecting it. Let's prioritize our to-do list with the must-haves and the nice-to-haves, and then action on them accordingly. Is this productive, or is it reckless? Handle your hustle with care. Productive, not reckless.
It is freezing.
What's your reckless meter at today? One of my coaches opened my eyes years ago to the concept of a can't wait life. We can't wait until Christmas, we can't wait until that trip, that promotion. But if we are spending this moment, waiting for the next moment, we've lost the moment we are in. Even if we are hustling and working now towards that thing we want in the future, we are still telling ourselves that the moment we are in is not enough. And we know that's not true. Hustle for your future self, but live for your current. Otherwise, we may never actually feel what it is to be here, right now. Let's not confuse our hustle with reckless hours of work for the sake of fragmented returns.
I love it.
Protect your hustle.
Okay, ready?
All right. Yep.
All right. I guess we didn't really shoot a video. We did, but you surprised me. And I'm not going to spoil anything. You need to go watch his video. We had quite the day, and then somehow our morning sunrise hike was topped with an extra special reveal. I just still can't get over it. There might have been tears. I don't know. Okay, you have to go watch it though. Cody Wanner, if you don't know him already, he's just a magician on YouTube, and you need to go follow him. Thank you for watching this. We'll see you next time.
And actually,
Love it.
Love it.
I have left out the biggest part of this story. Those details, they live on Cody's channel. Go watch.